You are listening to Pivot Parenting, episode 216. Don't drive your teen to rebellion. Welcome to Pivot Parenting, the place where we recognize when your parental role needs to shift and how to do it. I'm your host and parenting expert, Heather Frazier. All right, my friend, it is spring fever time. Is it wild at your house? End of school. This is last week of school for my kids. And can I just say, I think May is like the warm version of December. Busy, busy, busy. All of the things coming to a head all at once. And it's so exciting and so fun, and also can be kind of a lot. So last night, one of my girls, whom I talked to less than an hour before, came in hot, angry about her curfew, and so upset that she never got to stay up late. And my husband and I are like, whoa, where did this come from? It was so out of the blue. She was fine an hour before. My friend, I would like to introduce you to drop-in coaching. This is my program that I've just started for parents who are doing pretty good, but sometimes need like a little bit of help. Communication rules when their teen is struggling with friends, mental health, school, sports, so that the parent can best help them. This is for parents who want to polish the edges of their parenting. Nothing massive going on. That's private coaching. I offer 2 ways to work with me privately. I have a weekly call program and a concierge program. And of course, I am always so happy to get on a call with you to determine the best fit for you. This conversation in and of itself is super valuable regardless of if or how you decide to work with me, because I'll give you actionable steps to obtain the dream relationship with your teen. But if nothing major is going on in your life and you aren't looking to create massive change, drop-in coaching is the right fit for you. It's the fine tune. We're doing good, but we would like some fine tuning. I would like to have availability to talk to a coach, spur of the moment, should something come up. You can check out drop-in coaching only through my email list. This is only for my email pen pals. Right now, we're having a founding special. It's not going to last more than another week or 2. And then it will bump up to regular price, which is still a fantastic deal. But this is only available for my pen pals. And if you're not my pen pal yet, seriously, come on. I send out the most helpful short emails that give you just like that little tweak to try throughout the week. It's called the midweek tweak, in fact. And being on the list is just like that little power kick to keep you going. Just that one little shift that you can make, totally doable with just a few sentences of explanation. If private coaching is something that appeals to you, you can schedule that at my website. The link is also in the show notes, on social media. You can email me. It's all good. Basically, I want to be accessible to you. If you need help, reach out to me in any way that you can get to me, social media, email. I've got you. And just a quick reminder, founders pricing is going on. The nice thing about coming in at a founder is I'm never going to up the price on you. It will forever stay what it is, but you got to be on my email list. It's 8+ hours of coaching every month. Come as you like. It's basically the cost of a lunch date. Prices go up in a couple weeks. So you definitely want to head over to my website, join my email list. There's a call this week, today, and there are 3 next week. It is the most accessible, affordable way to get coaching that I have ever seen. And I know a lot of coaches. I want to help you. I want to help your family. And 2 of the biggest things that prevent people from getting the help they need is lack of time and money. This program is so readily available and so completely affordable. It really is like the cost of lunch at Cafe Rio or Zupa's or Neater's, wherever you like to go for lunch. It's about the cost of lunch if you come in as a founder. Crazy. If you come in after founder's pricing, it's going to be about the cost of dinner. Still super affordable. Let's get to the point of the episode, though. I want to tell you a story. And this is a hypothetical story, not based on any specific person, but it's something that I've seen so many times, it feels like a legit person. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful young girl. She was in her teenage prime and dating a guy. She really liked him at first, but he was starting to wear on her. She didn't like some of his behavior. And her parents also noticed his crude way of talking about people and things and told her they didn't really appreciate it and that she should break up with him. She didn't agree with them, even though she really did. Instead, she told them that they just didn't get it and they were too old and would never get it. They tried to make their point by keenly observing and then telling her all the ways he wasn't the best. She knew, but she didn't want her parents to feel like they were right or that they could dictate what she did. So she continued to date him for much longer than she really wanted. She was also dying at the end of the semester. Her parents tried to tell her ways to better manage her time and tasks. So she'd put them off and go hang with her boyfriend. She wanted not to drown in school, but she wanted independence and autonomy from her parents more. Maybe you have a teen like this. Humans, especially teens, will sabotage themselves for the sake of winning, feeling independent of others, obviously on a spectrum. Couple this, so you have the teenager's brain, they want autonomy and freedom. Couple this with a parent who's trying to feel like they matter, that they need to be helpful, in charge, smart, be valued. This is the perfect storm for everyone to behave badly. It's basically like a pissing match, a battle of the wills. Looking at my own childhood, I can think of 2 times my mom said something that could have been seen as rude. Yes, my mother was a saint. I'm number 5 of 6 kids. Never heard her yell. Twice I heard her. I can think of her being as somewhat rude. One time is a story for another time. I don't know if I'll ever share that story because I was younger, but when I was a teenager, I was probably rude to her a lot. I talk about one such instance in my book about when I gave her a haircut with my little sister. But I can only think of one time when she was rude to me, and I was headed out the door with some friends, and I was feeling fly. I just knew I looked good, but she disagreed. She didn't like my lipstick, and she said, "You look like a prostitute with those red lips." And I laughed, and I left the house, happy that I looked like a prostitute, and she didn't like it. All the better. Like, I was just fine with her not liking my red lips because I liked them. And I wanted to be a hot teenager, I guess. I don't know. I still like a nice red lip, but I'm sure that it was shocking to see her 17-year-old with bright lipstick on. When our kids do things we told them not to do, it's really easy to judge their behavior as spiteful or attention-seeking, something negative about who they are. But it makes perfect sense for their adolescent brains. Their main drivers, what they want most emotionally as a teenager, are forming their identity. So deciding who they want to be. Do they want to be into country music? Do they want to be a singer? Do they want to be into sports? Do they want to be really studious? Do they want to be liked by the people they're interested in? Do they not want to be liked just yet by the people that they're interested in? And they're trying to grasp and handle freedom and autonomy, finding a place amongst their peers, and proving that they can be grown up. I want you to think about when they were toddlers and you would try to buckle them into their car seat or tie their shoes or feed them, and they would push your hand away and say, "No, I do. I do." Did you ever hear that? I do. Because it's the same thing. Adolescence is like a toddler, but they're as tall as you now. They want the same types of freedoms, autonomy, making decisions, feeling like they're in charge of their own life. It's like another growth spurt in that area. This means that they will do whatever it takes to get what they're psychologically driven to. Again, this is on a spectrum. Some kids are going to have this a lot more obvious than others. This means they'll lie. They'll be mean. They'll push away your hugs, even though last week they loved them. They'll do the opposite of what you say. They will break rules, be stupid, and go against their own lesser wants and needs, like sleep, grades, what they look like, who they're hanging out with, and what they're doing. If the rewards of freedom, identity, and autonomy are being met, then they're winning, even if their grades or their values are suffered. All right, let's go back to my fairy tale girl. I see this girl's parents in my clients all the time. It sounds like, I just want some effort. So then the parents are judging her. Then they don't like her because she doesn't even care. She's not even trying. And then they don't like themselves. Or it can sound like, it's like nothing matters. She doesn't care about anything. So then they think that she's being rude. So then they become rude, trying to get her to knock it off, to start being kind, to start acting like she cares and she likes her family. It can sound like they just won't listen. I try to tell them, they just don't listen. So then what happens is the parent doesn't listen to what their teen's actions are saying between the lines. And then the two of them communicate even worse. It can sound like, you look ridiculous, or you look like a prostitute, in my case. Some form of, I don't approve of your appearance. Again, my mom did this to me that I can remember. Or for a long time, my only son had long hair. And full disclosure, I didn't love it. Not because I think boys should have short hair. I don't. But with his jawline, he has an amazing jawline. I liked the shorter hair on him more. I thought it was more flattering. But I never said, because on that spectrum of them doing things just to spite their parents, I didn't want him to maintain it longer. Like he had a point to prove. And guess what? He cut it on his own. He had it longer for a few years, which I was jealous of his hair as well. So thick and shiny and beautiful. But for whatever reason, I think that he looks really cute with short hair. But I didn't want to be the parent that says you should change your appearance, because I knew that then he for sure wouldn't. Now, I want you to pause and think just for a second. With your fully developed adult brain, and you're at work or some kind of adult social setting in the neighborhood or church, and you're told that what you're wearing isn't okay, or what you brought or your efforts aren't good, and that you should do things a certain way, but you really like your shirt, or you really like your way of doing it. How do you instinctively want to respond? Is it by throwing up your fists and saying, screw you, I'm going to do what I want? Because that's a pretty common response. And our teenagers are definitely one that are going to have that response if anybody is going to, because they're hardwired for it in adolescence. Okay, let's pause for a second. I just want to make sure that you know I am not saying to never guide, correct, or help your kids out. These are really important things. I was actually finishing up a group coaching call today, and we were talking all about this. One of the moms on the call was asking questions about her daughter, and she essentially had told her daughter how to fix her problem at school, and the daughter just retaliated and was not very nice to the mom, but she wasn't also being very nice. And she stormed off. And it was because the mom was trying to manage the daughter's life for her. And then another person in the group said, well, what's the difference between control and good parenting? Because we definitely want to be a good parent. We want to have rules. We want to teach our kids right and wrong. We want to make sure that they're safe. So here's the difference between control, which is a sneaky way of forcing our kids' hands into rebellion, versus good parenting, which is completely independent of their actions and should they choose to embrace or not embrace, and it feels way better. Control, which again can force or more readily invite our kids into rebelling against us, is all about us as the parent. We emotionally need a specific outcome from them. We need them to break up with their boyfriend so that we can rest easy that they're going to be okay. We need them to care about their grades. We need them to listen to us and follow our advice so that we feel smart, valued, safe. Good parenting, it's all about our kid. How do I model identifying emotional intelligence with their friends and dating partners? How do I mentor them through having systems in place so that they can have their homework done, or at least they know how to? This is another huge misconception. People think that when we teach our kids something, that means they do it. No. Teaching them means we explain it to them and we model it for them. They may or may not ever do those things, but we have taught them. They now know how to apologize. They now know what a clean bathroom looks like. They now know how managing after school hours so that you can get homework done or activities or chores can look. That is teaching. Teaching is not they do it. So teaching is good. Demanding obedience, that goes into the control. For sure, have rules and consequences. And the reason why we have rules is because they need to learn their boundaries. Every rule, just plan on it being broken on a spectrum, sometimes a few times, sometimes a lot of times, because that's how the world works. And we are teaching our children accountability. That's what rules are for, is teaching accountability, not so that they never break them. When you can tell the difference between control and teaching, it's so much easier to help our kids without becoming upset, angry, passive aggressive, giving up, feeling overwhelmed, feeling hopeless, frustrated. So many negative emotions are released when we just recognize it's our job to teach. That's it. Answer their questions if they have any, and model and explain quality things to them. So here are some do's and don'ts. I've come up with a list of several things for you to try to pivot. As always, if you need help, I am just an email or a DM away. Number 1, don't connect all the dots for them. Let me explain this. It's an interesting phenomenon that I learned when I was taking a psychology course. Essentially, we all have this ego of wanting to be the one to see or discover the truth. And so when we connect all the dots for our kids, when we say, your boyfriend is a loser because he said this, and you should break up with him, We're connecting all the dots. But they want to see that for themselves. And that gives them the ability to believe it, to accept it, and to act on it. But if we're connecting the dots, it gives them cause to reject what they know is best when it's not their idea, when they didn't see it first. Everybody likes the feeling of figuring it out. So let your kid have that win. When I was a teenager, I wanted something. I can't even remember what it was, but it was kind of a big deal. And I was talking to my mom about it, and we knew that we had to convince my dad that it was a good idea. And just to preface this story, we're all human. My parents were amazing and also not perfect. But my mom would do this thing with my dad. And she dialed me into this when I wanted this thing. But apparently she'd been doing it for a while. And she said, Heather, just suggest it in passing to your dad and let it sit for like a week or two. Just be like, oh, there's this thing. One sentence, just the idea of it. And then let it sit. And I'm guessing that in a few weeks, he'll suggest it as if it were his own idea. And it's a win for everyone. And this was a philosophy that she apparently would use with my dad. That's one way to do it, right? We can just be like, oh, that's an interesting thing that your boyfriend just said. Or we can say, I wonder about that. Or did you notice this? You're pointing out the dots to them. Point out the dots. Don't connect them. Ask questions that are open to any direction, but that could point in the right direction that you want them to go. Okay, do allow space for them to be authentic to their best self. Opinions, my friend, are just that. They're just opinions. There are very few battles that actually matter. Have a few clear rules, make sure your kids know them, stick to them, and let the rest play out as your kid sees best. Seriously, the best lessons learned are the lessons lived, not told. Don't worry about what others might think. Sure, your mom might complain about their ripped pants or hairstyle. Why does that have to be a problem? Do your own emotional work so that you aren't trying to control your teen to know that you're doing a good job. Just believe that you're doing a good job. It's a one-step process to becoming a good parent. I'm a good parent. Boom, you're a good parent. Your kid can be vaping. They can be sexting. They can hate you. Doesn't matter. You can love and teach them. So much easier when you've taken the one-step process of deciding you're a good parent. And then you get to do your emotional work independently of them behaving. Do let them fail. And I cannot emphasize this enough. This year, right now, is the safest, least impact year that they will have to fail, ever. They can never get younger. So let them learn lessons right now. Of course, keeping them as safe as possible. So if there's drinking, substances, legal, mental struggles, eating disorders, cutting, sexual things, we want to help manage that if they're having those types of hard times. But grades, first jobs, first loves, let them bomb hard because those are the best lessons learned. Do see how this is normal and may not be the worst case scenario your brain wants to sell you. Look for ways of how it's fine. It would be fine. Everything is okay. It really is. If you want to get super crazy, look how it's awesome. Do love your kid unconditionally. Being passive-aggressive, giving silent treatment, yelling, threatening, these are manipulation tactics to get them to yield, to stop rebelling. Stop this behavior. I can help you if you need help. Don't think that you know best all the time. Acknowledge to them when you're wrong or came up short. This is just a quality human move, my friend. Do get help if you can't seem to get it on your own. Seeking help isn't weak or shameful. It's actually humble, brave, and strong. Don't try to convince them. It doesn't work and usually has a negative impact. Lecturing isn't it. One sentence to share helpful thoughts, then listen, ask questions, let them do the talking. Every once in a while, throw in a one-sentence gem of wisdom, but listening is your most powerful play here. Do let them solve problems and be the driver in their own life. This requires that you let go of how you want their life to be to watch as they create the life they want for themselves. Be open to all the fun ways they could create a meaningful life for themselves. Don't think that they're doing it at you or to you. Even when they look you dead in the eyes and do the thing that you just told them not to, because everybody's kid does that at least a few times. It's not about you. Don't take it personally. Their actions are always about them. Get curious about that instead of becoming offended, angry, upset, hurt. I promise it's way better. And it really, truthfully is all about them, even when they say it's your fault. Did you know our kids blame us? Because it's easier to blame somebody else than look at our own actions and behaviors and modify ourselves. We all do it as humans. Okay, this is what I have for you, my friends. I hope that you try it out and have fantastic results from applying all that you have learned today. As always, please go to my website, heatherfraser.com, and get on my email list to join drop-in coaching. You can also take my quiz to get personally curated list of podcast episodes to help you with your type of teen, because most of us have at least one teen that is going to be opposite of what we say just because we said it, or they just don't care and they sit in their room all day. I really have cast all the typical stereotype teenage behaviors and curated the best list for you to listen to of episodes. So for sure, check that out on my website as well. You can check out my book, How I Fixed My Teen. It is getting rave reviews and tax and shipping are on me. I have so many resources. I have so many resources for you on my website. Please check it out, heatherfraser.com. Remember, Fraser has a Z-I in the middle. And we will talk to you next week.
Heather is the one, an expert in the field. She knows her parenting stuff, including how confusing it can be. You've tried it all, and it's a lost cause. Crying in the closet 'cause you failed at being a mom. But think again, there's peace around the corner and there's hope in your hands. Your kid just wants your love and you want it from